Have you ever felt it? That low, constant hum of pressure in the back of your mind. It's the feeling of a phone that never truly goes silent. A to-do list that multiplies overnight. The sense that you're constantly running, but the finish line just keeps moving further away. It's not the sharp, sudden panic of a near miss on the highway. That's acute stress. It's useful. It keeps you alive. No, this is something different. This is a slow drip. A weight that settles on your shoulders so gradually you almost don't notice it, until one day you wake up and realize you can't remember the last time you felt genuinely light. This is chronic stress. And it has become the silent soundtrack to modern life. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle. We're told to lean in, to optimize every second, to turn our passions into side hustles and our downtime into productivity sessions. Our value, it seems, is measured by our output. The lines between work and home have blurred into non-existence. Your office is in your pocket. Your boss can reach you at dinner. The pressure to perform, to be available, to be constantly on, follows you everywhere. And it's exhausting. It's more than just feeling tired. It's a bone-deep weariness. It's the mental fog that makes simple decisions feel monumental. It's the irritability that snaps at the people you love. It's the feeling of being an emotional container filled to the absolute brim, where one more drop of pressure will cause everything to overflow. Our bodies weren't designed for this. Think of it like this: your stress response system, the famous fight or flight mechanism, was designed for short bursts. It was made for the proverbial saber-toothed tiger. A threat appears, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline, you either fight the tiger or run from it, and then, it's over. The threat is gone. Your system returns to a state of rest and recovery. But in our modern world, the tiger never leaves. The tiger is the endless stream of emails. It's the 24-hour news cycle. It's financial pressure, social obligations, and the curated perfection we see on social media that makes us feel like we're constantly falling short. So our bodies stay in that high alert state. Cortisol keeps dripping. Adrenaline keeps pumping. We're stuck in a permanent state of fight or flight, and it wears us down from the inside out. It affects our sleep, our digestion, our immune system, and our mental clarity. We try to fix it, of course. We download meditation apps, we try yoga, we buy planners, we listen to podcasts on productivity hacks. We try to manage our stress with more effort. We try to solve the problem of being overwhelmed by doing more things. But what if the solution isn't another app or another technique? What if the answer isn't about managing the load, but about changing who carries it? There's a profound and ancient invitation, written down almost 2,000 years ago, that speaks directly to this feeling of being utterly worn out. It's not a productivity hack. It's a promise of a different kind of life. It comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. And it says this: "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Let's just sit with that for a moment. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. This isn't an invitation for the perfect, the put together, or the people who have it all figured out. It's an invitation specifically for the tired. For the ones carrying heavy things. For the person staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., their mind racing. For the employee feeling crushed by expectation. For the parent feeling the immense weight of responsibility. It's an invitation that sees your exhaustion and doesn't judge it. It validates it. It says, "I see that you are tired. I see that your load is heavy." And the promise isn't, "I will give you more energy to keep hustling." The promise is simple and radical. I will give you rest. This isn't just about getting a good night's sleep, as wonderful as that is. The original language suggests something much deeper. It's a rest that refreshes and restores you from the inside out. It's a soul-level quiet. It's the kind of peace that isn't dependent on your circumstances. It's the end of the striving, the constant internal battle. But how? The invitation continues with a very specific, and perhaps strange, instruction. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Now, for most of us, the word, yoke, probably doesn't sound very restful. We picture a heavy wooden beam forced onto an animal to make it plow a field. It sounds like more work, not less. It sounds like a restraint. But to the people hearing this for the first time, a yoke had a different connotation. A yoke was a tool for partnership. A young, inexperienced ox would often be yoked together with an older, stronger, more experienced one. The master ox knew the way. It knew the pace. It carried the majority of the weight. The younger ox was simply yoked alongside it, learning how to walk, how to pull, but without bearing the full strain of the plow. The yoke was actually a tool of training and assistance. So when Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you," he's not saying, "Here, carry this new heavy thing for me." He is saying, "Walk beside me. Let's pull this load together. Let me set the pace. Let me bear the real weight." This is a revolutionary idea in a world that tells us we have to do it all ourselves. Our culture of self-reliance screams that our burdens are ours alone to carry. If you're struggling, you need to be stronger. You need to work harder. You need to figure it out. This invitation offers the complete opposite. It suggests that the key to freedom isn't self-reliance, but a radical kind of surrender. It's the conscious decision to stop trying to pull the entire plow of your life by your own strength. It's admitting that you're not strong enough. And that's okay. Because you're being invited to be yoked to someone who is. Then comes the next part. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. Think about the bosses in our lives that cause us so much stress. The demanding client. The impossible performance metric. The relentless pressure of our own ambition. They are often harsh, unforgiving, and never satisfied. But this partner, the one inviting you into the yoke, is described as gentle and humble. Gentle means not harsh or forceful. It means patient. It means understanding. Humble means not being proud or arrogant. This is a partner who doesn't dominate or berate you. He leads with quiet strength and kindness. Learning from him isn't about cramming for a test. It's about absorbing a different way of being through proximity. It's a process of unlearning the world's frantic, anxious pace and learning a rhythm of grace. And the result of this partnership? You will find rest for your souls. There it is again. Not just rest for your body, but for your soul. For the very core of who you are. The part of you that carries the anxiety, the fear, the worry, and the weariness. Finally, the passage closes with a statement that seems almost too good to be true. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. How can a yoke be easy? How can a burden be light? It's a paradox. The burden of life doesn't magically disappear. The bills still come. The kids still need to be cared for. The work still needs to be done. The world is still a complicated place. The burden is still there. But when it's shared, your portion of it becomes light. Imagine trying to lift a massive boulder all by yourself. It's impossible. The strain is crushing. You would be completely overwhelmed. Now, imagine someone infinitely strong standing next to you, placing their hands underneath yours, and taking on 99.9% of the weight. You are still touching the boulder. You are still participating in the lift. But the strain on you is almost nothing. The burden feels light. The yoke, the act of lifting together, feels easy. This is the picture being painted. It's a redistribution of the load. So what does this look like in the 21st century? How do we practically take the yoke when we're sitting in traffic or facing a mountain of emails. It's not a single action, but a continuous orientation of the heart. First, it begins with a conscious moment of surrender. This could be the first thing you do in the morning. Before the phone is checked, before the day's anxieties rush in, simply taking a moment to say, "I can't do this alone today. I invite you to carry this with me. I give you the weight of my worries, my schedule, my fears." It's an act of intentionally handing over the reins you were never meant to hold so tightly. Second, taking the yoke means learning to set boundaries. The gentle and humble partner you're yoked to doesn't operate on a 24/7 hustle schedule. He honors rest. The concept of a Sabbath, a day of intentional rest and disconnection, is woven throughout Scripture. In a practical sense, this means giving yourself permission to say, "No." It means turning off the email notifications after a certain hour. It means protecting your downtime as something sacred, not as a void to be filled with more productivity. A light burden means not picking up weights that you were never meant to carry, like the weight of other people's expectations or the pressure to be everything to everyone. Third, it involves a shift in focus. Chronic stress often keeps our minds locked on the problems. We ruminate on what could go wrong, on what's lacking, on the mountain of tasks ahead. Learning from a gentle and humble teacher involves learning a new mental habit, gratitude. Actively looking for and acknowledging the good, however small. The warmth of a cup of coffee. A moment of kindness from a stranger. The fact that you are breathing. Gratitude is the practice of seeing that even when the burden is present, so is grace. It shifts your brain out of threat detection mode and into a state of peace. It's hard to be consumed by anxiety when your heart is filled with thanks. And finally, taking the yoke is about trust. It's about trusting that the stronger partner knows the path. When you hit a roadblock, a disappointment, or a failure, the temptation is to panic and try to seize control. Trusting the yoke means believing that even this is part of the journey. It means understanding that you don't need to have all the answers. Your job isn't to chart the entire map, it's just to take the next step, yoked to the one who does. This is a lifelong process. It's not a one-and-done cure for stress. There will be days when we forget, and we try to snatch the reins back and pull the whole plow ourselves. We will get tired. We will get overwhelmed. But the beautiful thing about this invitation is that it's always open. Every single morning, every single moment you feel that familiar weight settling back on your shoulders, the offer stands. Come to me, you who are weary and burdened. The world will always offer you more to do. More to achieve. More to worry about. It will always try to sell you a heavier yoke. But there is another way. A path of partnership. A path of surrender. A path where you can finally find rest for your soul. Not by becoming stronger, but by relying on the strength of another. Not by eliminating your burdens, but by realizing they are not yours to carry alone. The yoke is easy, and the burden is light.